Tender and contracts. Tender and contracts are crucial background activities in civil engineering and construction. Civil engineers in the execution field should know about the basics of this process. This module is about the basics of tendering and contract process and a comparison between tender and contracts. Tender and contracts are the primary process to be done before starting construction projects. Let us go through the stages of tendering. The process of tendering is usually conducted in 4 stages. That is pre-qualification, issue of tender documents, receipt and review of tenders, award of contract. In some cases, the pre-qualification process is replaced by eligibility criteria in tender documents. Before going to the details, please have a look into some common terms used frequently in tendering and contract process. The first one is client. Client is a company or a person who wants the work to be done. Client floats a tender with eligibility criteria, terms and conditions, work specifications, and bill of quantities or BOQ. Contractor. Contractor is a company or a person who intends to undertake the work. He calculates and submits the cost at which he can complete the works. The next term is tender. What do you mean by a tender? Tender is an invitation to submit sealed bids or offer for a particular work under specified terms and conditions. This is the first step in the tendering process. Another word related to tender is the tender documents. Tender documents contains the eligibility criteria, the schedule of completion, terms and conditions of contract, BOQ or bill of quantities, technical specifications, etc. Let us have a brief about the contents of a tender document. The first one is eligibility criteria. Eligibility criteria means the contractor should be technically and financially eligible as per the tender criteria for participating in the tender process. The next is conditions of contract or terms and conditions of contract. The terms and conditions specify the process and manner in which the tendering process is conducted. The terms and conditions identify the rights and responsibilities of client and the contractor. The conditions of contract can be general condition of contract or special condition of contract. General condition of contract means the one that is common and included in most contracts. Special conditions are those that are specific to that contract, that is payment terms, price variations, penalties, etc. The next is technical specification. Technical specification includes the quality and standards of materials to be used in the contract, the execution methodology to be followed, relevant IS codes and international standards, the acceptable tolerances for execution, and an approved vendor list. Coming to the most important part of tender document, that is bill of quantities or BOQ. Bill of quantities or BOQ is an approximate estimate of quantities along with the description of the item and specifications. The BOQ should always be read in tandem with the technical specifications for analysis and quoting the rates. Next is notice inviting tender. Notice inviting tender is a public notice inviting interested parties to participate in the bidding process or tender process. Let us have a look into the type of the tenders. Type of tenders, that is single tender, limited tender or selective tender, open tender and global tender. L1 bidder or lowest bidder. Normally the contractor quoting the lowest rate will be awarded the job and are called L1 bidder. The client enters into a contract with the L1 bidder and this is the last stage of tender process. What is contract? Contract is an agreement between client and contractor enforced by law under agreed terms and conditions. What is the difference between a tender and a contract? In the case of contract, the contractor with the lowest price will enter into a signed contract with the client. But in the case of tender, several contractors are involved in the tender process or bidding process. Contract is enforced by law. The contractor is bound to execute and complete the works as per the contract agreement. But in the case of tender, it is not enforced by law. The tender document will not bind the contractor to do the work. These are the basic process of tender and award of contract. Immediately after award of work, the client and contractor will start the project with a kick-off meeting to finalize the planning and execution parameters. Thank you.